Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is CV Coach here. So glad to have you with me today. I hope everyone is okay and I hope you've had a great day. Thank you very, very much. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you let me know if you can hear me? How is the sound? Because I'm using my pin mic. How is the sound? Let me know if you can hear me, please. Mega shout out to you, uh, Coach Owen. So glad to have you here, sir. Good evening, sir. Raises Kitchens, mega shout out to you. Jennifer Jackson TV. How are you doing, Jennifer Jackson? How are you? How is everything? How is your channel getting on? Thank you so much for being here. Rosemary, thank you so much. Rosemary is from the Philippines. Thank you so much. Father and Son RTV vlog. Father and Son RTV vlog. Mega shout out to you. Father and Son RTV vlog is from the Philippines. Cherished Olivia. Glad to have you here. Cherished Olivia is from South Africa. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. So glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. Mega shout out to you all. Thank you so much. But I just want to know that you can hear me. I just want to be sure that you can hear me before we'll go on. Hello, everyone. Yeah, this is OG CV Coach here. Like I said last week, we are live every Sunday from 6 p.m. And today is a great day because we've got so much we're going to learn today and so much you're going to hear. Now, I'm not ignoring anyone in this program, but when you leave your question, we might not be able to take it straight away until maybe at the end of the event. Cherish Olivia, so glad to have you here. Thank you so much. I love your program that you just had, things that you don't prepare for in life. But the thing about it is this: it happens. That's life. It happens. Now, if you're not friends with Cherished Olivia, please go to her channel and be her friend. Thank you so much. Thumbs up for the host. Thank you so much, Cherished Olivia. So glad to have you here. I'm so glad to have you here. I hope the sound is clear and I hope everyone can hear me because I'm using my pin mic. I want to be very sure that everyone can hear me. You know, Cherish Olivia, so glad to have you here. Thank you very much for the time, your video that you shared today. It was just awesome. It was awesome. Thank you very, very much for that. There are a lot of things that people don't prepare for in life, and one of them is marriage, issues that you face with marriage. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate that. But I just want to be sure that okay. I think the sound is clear, the sound is good. So that's in about 2 minutes time we'll be starting off. So it's important that call your friends, share us out so that people can come in and hear us. So many people are facing this situation right now. So many people are facing the situation right now. And it's important that you know how to deal with this kind of situation, because uh, quite a number of people are going through what we are discussing today, which has to do with stress. How do you manage stress? How do you deal with stress? You know, you can see the lady there. Stress. Is like, and if you look at the way I did it, how to manage stress is pain. People are going through it, and people are really suffering as a result of stress. You know, so thank you so much for being here, everyone. Once again, I want to welcome you to today's live stream. And we're going to be having a special coach who's going to be coaching us today using emotional intelligence to manage stress. Now, I've been looking forward to this period or this live stream with Coach Owen. I've known Coach Owen for quite a long time. Wonderful man. You're just going to hear him. He's going to just, impart you. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed here. Then make sure you thumb up. Then one other thing I want to tell you is this. We have a special goodie for all those that will stay right down from now to the end and hear everything. One of the things is for you to have a 30 minutes free session with Coach Owen. So I think nobody wants to miss that. So whether on live stream, you want to have it on Zoom, mobile phone, wherever you want to have it, it's going to be with you. So It's quite good. Don't miss it. Don't miss the opportunity. So I don't know where you are from, whether you are watching, okay, whether you are watching from South Africa, you know, whether you are watching from South Africa or you are watching from United Kingdom or you're watching from the Philippines or you're watching from Nigeria. Now we are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. So please make sure you're logged in. Make sure you're in. Make sure you're in. You know. So let's go right down to it. Now, what's the figure of the number of people who have had stress? Now, how you see, we're dealing with how to manage stress. How do you manage stress? Lots of people have been stressed this period as a result of COVID-19, as a result of issues that they've had. So that's why I'm bringing the coach in to talk to us on how we can manage stress. So now, number one, look at this. This is the figure that I got online. Generation Z teens, age 13 to 17, and the Generation Z adults, age 18 to 23, are facing unprecedented uncertainty. A majority of them are experiencing elevated stress and are already reporting symptoms of depression. The American Psychological Association. So I got that information there. So it means that there is a group of people who are facing this issue. And who are the Generation Z? Here they are. So he said the Generation Z teens, age 13 to 17, and the Generation Z adults, 18 to 23, they are facing unprecedented uncertainty. You know, they are facing unprecedented uncertainty. So majority of them are going through stress. They are facing, you know, and because they are already experiencing elevated stress and already reporting symptoms of depression. So you might think, okay, well, it will never happen to me. What about if it happens to someone that you know? What about if it happens to someone that is close to you? That's why we're having this program. Now in UK, this is what happens in UK. 828,000 workers are suffering from work-related stress, depression, or anxiety. New or outstanding. That's between 2019 and 2020. 828,000 workers suffering from work-related stress, suffering from depression or anxiety. So you see why we are having this episode today is so important, very important. Now, look at the working days that is lost in UK. 17.9 million working days lost due to work-related stress, depression or anxiety in 2019 to 20. Now, I can't show you the scale here, but if you look at the scale online, Labor Force Survey, the scale from 2001, it was just down. 2004 went down. Then it went up in 2019 to 20. The scale just went up. You'll be wondering why. Probably because of issues, problems that have happened. So what we do in CV Coach is this. There is no need preaching it, but we need to give you the solution. That's why we're bringing in today, you know, Coach Owen, you know, who is the CEO of Owen Consult. Sorry, Owenico Consult. So he is a trained emotional intelligence coach. Now you might say you've not heard what emotional intelligence is. This is an opportunity for you to know. This is an opportunity for you to know how it is. So I'm going to send the link now and put it on the chat so that Coach Owen can join us on the screen. Okay. So get ready. It's just going to be a life-changing program. You know, so like we always say, I'll bring you the questions, you know, make sure you are in with us. So now, please, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please thumb up, subscribe, and share. That's what we want from you. Okay? So subscribe and share. Mega shout out to everyone that is here tonight. Mega shout out to you. I want to say thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for coming. No, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. You know, let me give a shout out to everyone here. Cherish to Olivia TV. Mega shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming in. Mega shout out to you. Mega shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming in. So we'll be having Coach Owen with us very soon. Very, very soon. We'll be having Coach Owen with us. So I've sent the stream. Cherish Olivia, thank you so much. Much love. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. You know. So Coach, that's the link there. If you click on the link to bring you up on the screen, then I'll just family aspects. So glad to have you here. Greetings, host. Thank you so much. Family aspects. Mega shout out to you. Mega shout out to you. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Now, if you're not friends with family aspects, I will advise you to go there. Family aspect deals with everything that has to do with relationship. You know, preparing you for relationship. Cherish to Olivia just had a premiere not too long. I would advise you to go and watch it. In that premiere, one of the things she brought up was marriage. One of the things she brought up was marriage. But you see, as you brought up that issue about marriage, family aspect is here. He is a guru on relationship. He is a guru on relationship, and he'll be featuring very soon on this program where we're going to be discussing something in regards to what he does. So I advise you to go to his channel. Yeah, Cherish to Olivia, you are welcome. So I'm bringing Coach Owen to the screen now. Here we are, Coach Owen. Thank you so much for being here. Mega shout out to you, sir. We can't hear you yet.
Okay,
We
you
need to
can't hear
hear
me
you.
yet?
We can't
Okay.
hear you yet. Can
All right,
everybody hear
let's get.
Coach Owen? Let me see if we can.
I think you should hear
Can
me. I'm hearing
everybody
you.
hear him?
Can anyone hear me? Sir,
Uh, we can't hear you yet.
you can't hear me. Hello.
Can, can everybody hear? Okay, let me
Hello.
see now. Yes, we can hear. Oh,
Hello. Yeah, you should hear me. I think so. I'm not hearing you now. You have muted yourself. You have muted yourself, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is it
Okay
okay?
now.
Yeah, I was using
Yes,
my
it's okay now.
mic. I'm taking it off
All,
now.
all right.
Glad to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for being here. You know,
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
we've got so many people online with us. I've got Cherish to Olivia TV, who's from South Africa, Family Aspect from UK. We've got some people from the Philippines, Jennifer Jackson from Nigeria. And we're all looking forward to having you here. So glad to have you here, sir. So now, the first question will go right on the screen. Tell us what you do as an emotional intelligence coach.
That's a very interesting one. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me. And I want to appreciate everyone that have joined from various places. Thanks for giving us your time this evening. It's my pleasure to have you on. What do I do as an emotional intelligence coach? I do really a lot of things, everything you can think of as emotional intelligence coach, which is why I'm so passionate about this. Because when you look at it, you see that a lot of challenges people have, most of them originate from their emotional ignorance. So really, when you talk about emotional intelligence, you're talking about a lot of things, which we'll get into. But what I do is that I help individuals improve themselves, organizations get better. Emotional intelligence about building relationships. I help parents manage themselves and manage their children, really, parenting. So emotional intelligence gets everywhere, really. So there's really not no area you would think of that emotional intelligence doesn't play a big role in helping people in doing better at it, improving themselves, enjoying the happiness. And so really, when you talk about what I do, I work with leaders, I work with parents, I work with the professionals, and all people from all walks of life need emotional intelligence. So really,
Beautiful,
my
man.
job, it cuts a lot of cuts across.
Wow, this is good. So we've got lots of content creators here, lots of YouTubers. So that means
Right.
your specialty can help them too.
Yes, definitely. Definitely can
Wow.
help them. I mean, just tell me what area. I'll tell you how emotional intelligence can help the person or the individual organization. So it's really a very large area of knowledge that has not been tapped. Really, it's one of those areas that has been neglected really in people's lives and in organization, even in the society. And that's why some of the challenges we have in the society today, a lot of them originate or stem from lack of emotional intelligence.
Wow. Beautiful. So tell us, sir. So how did you get into emotional intelligence? That's the next question. How did you get into emotional intelligence? Why did you choose that aspect? Because
That's
I
a very
decided to
good
go
one.
for yeah, I decided to choose CV coaching, finance, jobs, family aspect went into relationship. Cherish Oliver is a blogger, Raisin's Kitchen is into music and blogging. So why did you how did you get into emotional intelligence?
It's a long story, but I'll summarize it. Maybe at other times I can give more details. There's so much details. But then I got into emotional intelligence by maybe self-discovery, I would say, because actually my background is in finance. I used to be into finance, so studies were in finance. The degrees I have were all in finance. I was in financial services, but then the job I did in charity involved counseling people. So it was in the process of counseling people, I got into coaching because one of the people I counseled that was very successful said, "Wow, really, this you would be very good in coaching." Didn't even know what coaching was then. Then I inquired, found out that really there's life coaching, there is business coaching, there is executive coaching. Really, I'm an executive coach, but then I specialize in this behavioral area, which is emotional intelligence, really. So when I got into life coaching, I enjoyed it a bit, and then I looked at business coaching. That was very good also because my studies were business, so I enjoyed it. But then I had to go to something that when I saw emotional intelligence, I saw that it was like a second nature to me, very natural to me. I could, relate with it deeply. So that's how I got into emotional intelligence as the area of specialization of executive coaching that I do. So
Okay.
in a nutshell, that's how I got there.
Wow. So now I know many people are going to be asking, how do I get you? We will get there. But now don't forget, after this
Yeah.
broadcast, if you wait right down to the end, you're getting 30 minutes free session with Coach Owen. So it's like, how do you get your YouTube channel better? How do you get your family better? How do you get your relationship better? Everything is right here. It's like we brought goodies to you on a platter of gold today. So make sure you stay
Absolutely.
right down to the end. So more question. How long did it take you to become an emotional intelligence coach?
All right. As you know, or a lot of people may not know that coaching is one of those areas or field of study that there's no regulation. Anybody can wake up and say they are a coach, and as long as you are producing results for people, and I mean nobody's will be chasing. It's not regulated. But I came from the background of financial services, which was heavily regulated.
Yeah.
So I came with that idea of certification and things like that. So I went all through that. So really, when it comes to training or qualifying as a coach, it depends on which route you want to take. So it's one of those areas. Some may take you months, some may take you years. But really, when it comes to an area like emotional intelligence coaching, the most important area is the practical aspect of it, which is why people have challenge with it, why people find it difficult, because the educational part of it is just one part. That one I did about 7 years ago. But I was
Yeah.
already doing emotional. I was my life has trained me in that area, and a lot of things I did, bringing up children, raising up both both biological and non-biological things, all of those things have added or trained me in this area of emotional intelligence. So the educational part of it was maybe I wouldn't say it took me long, because qualifications is study and do the assessments. That can take you some depending on the institution, really, some months, some people years. But really, it's the practical aspect where you have to adapt yourself. You have to learn these things. You have to practice some of these skills that really like you can begin to use it to help people. That's the main area, which can take some time, but it's not too long as you are willing to. That's what you want to do, which is because when it comes to emotional intelligence, these behavioral areas, your willingness or your desire for change is what really matters.
Wow. This is interesting. This week somebody asked me, said, I want to go into counseling. And so many questions were being asked. I'm not a counselor. I might have the knowledge, but I'm not a qualified counselor. So I said,
Yes.
okay, no worries. Now, if you're online with me, I'm going to give your details to Coach Owen so you can meet him, because I know that before you can go into counseling, you must work with somebody who will certify you as a qualified counselor. So that answer has been sorted with you being here. Another person just said she wants to go. She's doing her PhD in emotional intelligence.
Okay.
That's Cherish Olivia. Yeah.
All
So
right. Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
very interesting
sorted.
too.
That's very interesting. So it's like a network of people coming in together now to
All right.
to meet up on this channel. So make sure you stay right down to the end, like I said. Now, don't forget, if you're new here, you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And then let's get on. So why is emotional intelligence very important? Why is it important?
Well, why emotional intelligence is important is because is the maybe I would say is the foundation of a lot of things we do. Right? Relationships are built on emotion, right? So it's one of the key things that control the way we relate. It's about understanding yourself, because when we look at emotional intelligence, what is it really, by the way, when we say emotional intelligence? We are talking about, definition wise, you get a lot of definitions about on your emotional intelligence, but then Daniel Goldman, uh, a lot of people who have worked on emotional intelligence have a lot of very nice definitions, but I use a common one from the Institute of Social and Emotional Intelligence, which is where I did my certification. They say emotional intelligence is, being aware or recognizing your emotion at the moment and that of others, and using that information to manage yourself and manage your relationships. So we see how the foundation it gives there. You begin to, when you talk about emotional intelligence, you're talking about understanding yourself better, which surprisingly, you can't believe how many people don't know much about themselves. How did their upbringing influence you up to today? A lot of people, that's why I see people having crises in life, whether marriage, school, a lot of things. A lot of them can be easily traced. It's just that people don't know, they don't seek for help. That marriage has broken, that child could not go to school. A lot of these things are things that people can easily be guided. People are having challenge at work, emotionally. If you guide them, help them to find out whether they are the problem or the organization. A lot of times people are trying to solve problems outside, whereas they are the problem. And if you don't have someone that can help you reflect inwards and say, okay, you are the problem, really, can we help you here? And the problem may not necessarily be you. That's the way you are brought up. That's the way your education, your profession has influenced you. Because if you deal with people, you see that what people do influence them, the way they do things. Just like I told you earlier on, I
Yeah.
came to coaching from the background of certification. So everything I did, I had to get certification for it. I have to train. A lot of people didn't do that. So, and this is the way it is. If you're nice, it has an impact in your behavior, the way you reason. If you're an accountant, a doctor, I deal with all these type of people. So when you start dealing with them, you see that their profession starts showing up in their behavior. But until you work with them closely and show them how those things are coming up in the way they do things, they wouldn't recognize it. They will not realize it. Some of them may think it's a problem, whereas it's just something that really, growing up, this is the impact of the way you were brought up, and then now this is the things you can change to adapt to the current situation where you are. So it's so important because it impacts you as an individual. It helps you understand more, at least know yourself more, know what the things you can do, because the first area of emotional intelligence is what we call self-awareness. We're beginning to look at your values, your strengths, areas you need to improve yourself. All of those things come under emotional intelligence. Even making progress in life, without looking into these areas, you cannot do so much. So
Wow,
important.
man.
So
It's
important.
like emotional intelligence, like an all-rounder. In other,
Yes.
yeah, in other words, if like now I'm going to speak to maybe my team to say, okay, we want to bring you in to coach us. You're putting us on a pedestal of being able of high achievers. So you're
Exactly.
going, okay, wow.
Yes.
So
Just to add
yeah,
to
go on.
that, just
Yes,
to add that before you go on, right? So really, when we a lot of previously what people knew about was just what we call um, um, uh, the intelligence, cognitive intelligence, which is where people are able to know so much about mathematics. They're sharp, right? They're smart, really. But then emotional intelligence is another kind of smartness. So it's not a unitary figure like IQ, right? Intelligence quotient. It's not a unitary figure where you say, okay, I score 60 or 120 or 150. No, emotional intelligence is a collective word for a range of skills, right?
hmm.
From self-awareness to conflict management to trust. A lot of things come under it, but these are skills that you need for success in life. Skills you need to help yourself, help the people, manage the people around you, and also make progress in any profession you are, really. So it's not just one thing you say, oh, I have scored more than 100, I'm good at this. You always have
Yeah,
room to improve. You might be very good at self-awareness, but empathy, when it comes to empathy, you are zero. Even in empathy
hmm.
alone, you have what we call cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, empathic consent. And I've observed somebody might be very high on cognitive empathy, but
Yeah,
empathic consent, not good at
yeah.
it. So you
Hmm.
always have room to get better. So much to talk about in emotional intelligence,
Wow.
particularly the importance of it. Yeah.
Hmm. This is interesting. Because
Yes.
the thing about it is this, I do
Yes.
CV coaching, I do
All
health
right.
and safety training. When people
All right.
come to me and I train them or I coach them, I find out that some of these guys came in from Africa with so much knowledge, India with so much knowledge. I've coached
All right.
somebody who was a health and safety inspector in India. Now, if you are a health and safety inspector in UK, you are up there. Anywhere you
Mm-hmm.
show up, people are quivering because they know you know what you do. But when she came
All
into
right.
UK, she lost that confidence. And I had
All
to
right.
help her build up the confidence. She was working in
Yes.
a store where they spill out the shares. I said, no, you can do something with your life. So, in other
Yes.
words, emotional intelligence, if I bring it into my coaching or my CV class, it will be my students will hit the top right there in their jobs.
Absolutely. Because really, one of another area is self-confidence, right? What you say, self-concept, which is the challenge, one of the biggest challenge we have in this society, self-concept, right? People's image or impression about themselves. For instance, most people that come from Africa, depending on their, level of education, depending on their family status, a lot of them believe that people here are superior to them, right?
Yeah.
Which may not exactly be so, because
Mm-hmm.
some people who are well educated, read as good as anybody you can find. In fact, some of them are much better. All right.
Yeah.
So, but then there's this general concept or notion that maybe if you are here in the UK, you know better. Until some of us came here and saw that maybe some of them are not even as educated as we are. So
That's it.
so that there's that level of inferiority complex that come with such things. So when somebody is qualified over there and come here, you think that what they have is inferior to what you have here, unless they have self-confidence. So really, part of the things we do is even coaching somebody on how to, maintain confidence in going for
Hmm.
interview. A lot of reasons why people don't get through the interview is not because they are not good enough. It's the way they present themselves, the confidence level, the way they react to maybe interviews, right? Even realizing that maybe you're going to panic and it's okay. And then you know how to control yourself in that situation and still maintain
Yeah.
your composure. So all those small things are things that help people, and some of them fall under, or most of them, if not all of them, fall under, emotional intelligence, some areas of emotional intelligence. But one of them, particularly with dealing with young ones now, is what we call the self-concept, the image people have about themselves. The ability to believe in themselves and then accept themselves as opposed to what other people are saying about them, right? When we talk about peer pressure, that's one of those challenges. If somebody's self-concept is not properly developed, they will just be going with, if somebody say you're handsome, that's fine. They say somebody says something different, you are depressed.
Yeah. Amazing, man. This is good. This is a very good topic. You see, one of my students came to me, and he was introduced to me by somebody. When he came in, he was a childminder. He was
Right.
he was receiving £7.50 an hour. So when I saw him, I said, "What did you do?" He's got LLM in law, MMM or whatever in law. So he's got a first degree and a master's in law. And I said, so, and he was born here, he's schooled here, but he went to Nigeria. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm a childminder. I said, childminder? And I coached him and worked with him on interviewing skills. The guy went, he got a job in 1 month because I gave him that confidence. Then after 1 month, he stayed in the job. He was there enjoying it. After a year, he called me just, let me just say about a year and some months in his job. He called me and said, you know what, coach, I want to buy a house. I said, that's good. His salary went from £7.50 an hour to about £50,000 a year without bonus. So, yeah, go on, sir. I want to hear you. You want to say something?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He would have stayed all his life with all those degrees and blame the community and blame the society and blame everything around him. And that's why really I want ways of reaching out to people out there, particularly certain ethnic groups, right, that complain about discrimination, a lot of things. A lot of times they just need little support, right, to look into walls and change certain things about themselves to help them move forward. I'm not saying that those things are not there, but one of the things we train people, irrespective of what is there, we show you how to navigate it. Particularly, the change can come from you. If you can prepare yourself for that, it's very possible for you to move forward. Some people stay in one level of job, band 6 or whatever. That's the level, the highest they can go, maybe in a place like NHS, and they blame everyone around them. But really, sometimes it may just be they just need a little training to put them right. Just like what you said now, lots of us have degrees, but then if they don't have that confidence to go for interviews, how to manage interviews, even have to manage rejection, which is part of life, they don't move forward. The fear of rejection can stop people from even attempting certain things. So that's it. That's a very classical example of how such little support can help somebody. Particularly, you can imagine somebody that educated.
Yeah. Wow. Now, guys, I know so many questions are coming up now, and you're going to see people in this episode or in this program, that in this channel, who defy all odds to become what they want to be.
Exactly.
So make sure you get ready. I'll be right back after this short interlude. Yeah, so welcome right back, everyone. So glad to have you here. Now, before we started, there was a figure that I brought out, which is going to the next question. About 17.9 million working days lost due to work-related stress, depression, or anxiety. That was in 2019 to 20. So we know why that happened, because of probably COVID. Now, about in UK, 828,000 workers are suffering from work-related stress, depression, or anxiety. And that new or outstanding in 2019 to 20. Now, Coach Owen, this takes me to my next question. Tell us about stress.
Okay. Talking about stress, those are the type of things really why emotional intelligence. So that we are question, we will keep answering it, the importance of emotional intelligence, because every question you ask goes back to reflect on that same question of the importance of it. So those statistics you have is very clear. That's what it is. And particularly even in this period of lockdown and things and COVID-19, it increased so much. Domestic violence also was on the very high. So some of those things we'll get to at some point. But talking about stress, what is really stress? Okay, when we talk about stress, you're talking about typically the feeling or emotions, that you have as a result of maybe an interaction or a situation. Okay, something happens, right? And then you feel certain how, you experience feelings, certain feelings or emotion. So talking about stress, you look at what we call stressor, right? So stressor is what in another way you call trigger, right? What triggers this stress? What triggers this feeling? The stressor may not necessarily be stressful, but your response to it, the way you feel about it, the way it impacts you emotionally is what is really the stress, really. So, and this happens whether our people are driving on the road, depending on their level of maybe emotional intelligence or understanding of themselves, understanding of life, and the way things work. So people can be stressed as a result of driving on the road, the behavior of other people. People can be stressed as a result of a family condition, which is a very big one. That's the reason for domestic violence, really. People can be stressed because of work conditions. We have places we say it's a toxic environment, a lot of these things, and these things have very negative impact on our, on everything about us, from health to our ability to earn, perform other functions in life. So really, stress is about those feelings, those emotions that we have as a result of a situation or an interaction. Okay. So when we are talking about stress, where we start from is maybe can we begin to check, can we find out what are your stressors, what are these things that trigger stress for you? Which is back to self-awareness, really, when we talk about emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence, the concept we use the most popular concept, during Daniel Goleman, that was one of the main people that publicized emotional intelligence. He used to have these 5 quadrant sort of emotional intelligence. Now he has agreed that the fourth quadrant is the best one, really. So you have what we call self-awareness. You have then self-awareness, self-management. Then you have social awareness, and then you have relationship management. And then under each one of these, there are a lot of other, competencies or skills that can be learned. So the first one there is what we call self-awareness, getting to understand the situation. Who am I? Why am I the way I am? Or what is happening in this situation? For instance, something like stress. What is stressing me really? Can we figure that out? Can we check? Is it because of family? Is it because of work? Is it because of money? And there are common stressors, right? Some what we call that are, more or less generic. They are, whenever such things happen, a lot of people get stressed. One of them is lack of money. It's a common one. Lack of job, is a common one. People's, appearance, maybe their body weight is maybe can be a source of stressor for some people. Some people can be time pressure. You need to submit something before a given time. That can be a stressor. That can generate, stress for some people. Some of them can be work environment. You don't feel you are treated or accepted where you work. Your work colleagues, the way you relate with them, your boss, the way they relate to you. Such things can be maybe sources of stress. Bereavement. Lately, people have lost family members, loved ones, those such things. These are generic ones, but one of the better things to do when we are talking about stress is to help people identify their stressors. What triggers this? And then we'll begin to see how we can help you to respond the right way without being stressed, really, without succumbing to the pressure of stress.
Wow. So in other words, sorry, my cat is here. I'm just going to take him out.
Okay. You can join us. You might need emotional intelligence.
You can join it. Yeah. So in other words, it is good to get the root cause of an issue and then deal with the root cause from there, because that root cause will be the trigger.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I work. I
And
work.
this,
Go on.
go
Go
ahead.
on. Well, yeah. Go on.
No, yeah, because the point is that sometimes people respond to the symptom without, getting to the root cause of the situation. So they may be angry with people around them, fight everyone around them, but then they are not the problem. There might be something else that is really triggering, you being, because sir, when people are stressed, it has, physical symptoms, it has emotional symptoms, it has a cognitive symptoms, yeah, and all of these things, play out in different areas. So your ability to notice that and then get to really what can, that's one of the benefits, one of the importance of emotional intelligence. It helps you to begin to really find out what is really the cause of certain things, and then so that you can deal with the real thing. So one of it is like something like stress. What is really stressing me? Could it be lack of money? So then, if maybe because of job, like a situation like lockdown, a lot of people are uncertain about are we going back to work, what's going to happen. That's alone, particularly male men. Such things can impact them a lot. They are follow. They are not sure whether they are, and they have this family to take care of. So those things impact
Yeah.
them. Those things can be source of stress. But then, causing problem at home may not be a solution. It might just be say, can I upscale myself? Can I add to my skills to, be able to, maybe even if I don't go back to this job, move to something else? Is there any other thing I can start from where I am now? So we help people discover, find out what's this stressing, what is this trigger? Might not just be one. It could be a combination of a lot of things. But whatever it is, first of all, just identifying their stress. What can we maybe identify the stressors, and then we'll begin to see how we can support that person.
Oh my God, this is very interesting.
Mm.
This is good because I work in an industry where um, I work in construction as a health and safety consultant. We get lots of people who commit suicide. Some just, go up there, jump, splash on the floor. Some just commit suicide, just the way, because of either stress from the job or stress from issue. But right now, with me on this program, and I know quite well that what, if I can have a meeting and tell the people, what, I've got somebody that can help your company, uh, maybe speak to your operatives and see how they can help them. Because one of the things that we face, especially in my industry, in fact, construction industry, after farming, our agriculture, the next industry with lots of people committing suicide is construction. And because of the stress of the job and everything. But the next question is this: what's the relation? Now, I know you've dealt with this already, but you can just chip in a little bit. What's the relationship between emotional intelligence and stress? You spoke about it already, that being able to locate the trigger, being able to know what's going on, just a little bit of word in there so that we can go on to the next question.
Right. So that's what it is. Emotional intelligence helps you to maybe understand yourself. For instance, like if you are in a high stress job, right, role, you should know that. For instance, the situation like this, a lot of people are stressed because of work. Now, what is happening in places of work? One is that if you are a manager in a place of work, you may be expecting that this time that maybe not all of your employees will will come in a particular day, right? So maybe you have to manage or do the job with fewer people than usual. So as a manager that is emotionally intelligent, you begin to plan for something like that. So when people call in sick or call in that they can't come in, it doesn't need to frustrate you anymore because you know that you're already anticipating that. So that's a level of emotional intelligence, knowing that maybe this is how this thing is going to happen. And then if it happens, what options do I have? Right? What options are left for me? Do I call in maybe extra casual staff to come and support, or can I manage the department or the ward with the few people I have? And how do I make it possible so that they too are not, crumble under the pressure of work? Right. So these are some of the things, the way emotional intelligence can help people manage stress or the relationship. First, understanding yourself. Really, this is a time of COVID. People are stressed, right? And then you don't want to fall into that stress. If I get to work, it might be demanding. I might be expected to cover up for other colleagues that couldn't come in. All these things prepares you so that when you get there, you are relaxed to do what is expected to be done. Right? So whether you are a manager or you are part of the staff, right? A manager needs to plan to accomplish the work with maybe fewer people, because definitely some people are not coming in. And then if you are an employee, you need to know maybe you may need to cover for staff who are not able to come in, because now it might be more demanding. You may be required to do more than the usual, because some people are not able to come in. So these levels of understanding is what really how emotional intelligence can help people manage stress, right? There's not money at home or whatever it is, or children at home. Even schooling at home for children is causing a lot of stress for parents. But then it is what it is. You can't change that now, because one of the things emotional intelligence helps you to do is to help you focus on the real thing, right? Sometimes people waste a lot of their energy on things they cannot change. I can't change the lockdown. I can't say when is going to be changed. That's not in my in the remit of my authority. Right? But then I can focus my energy in the things that I can do now. I can study. I can look after the children. There are things that I know I can do now. So I give attention to that instead of being frustrated about things I cannot change.
Yeah. Wow. We've got so many comments coming in, but because we've got so many, this topic is so loaded.
Yes.
It's so loaded. There is so much that we can take from here, because you've answered the question, how do you deal with stress? Because sometimes, like me, what I do is that when I wake up in the morning, I've got emails and so many things to do, but I have to-do list. I stick to my to-do list. Anything that comes goes to the bottom, so that I don't get stressed of somebody saying, I want something now, it must be done in the next minute. It does not happen. I plan my day. You see, this is why we're talking about jobs, so that we are talking about educating yourself, putting in so much into yourself. Because if you are in a job where people just talk to you the way they like, they can tell you to do anything at any time. But if you're in a job where you're being paid for the knowledge that you have, everybody spend money and time, but you're being paid for the knowledge you have. They can't just put anything on you. Everything is planned. In fact, if they even want you to do anything at the moment, they'll have to ask first, please, can you? Yeah, that's how it works. Sometimes I tell people I'm going to deliver that same day, but at the end of the day, if I'm not able to deliver, I send them an email. Sorry, I can't bring it today. You'll get it tomorrow. You have to wait. It's not in a hurry, because I've done everything. This is perfect. Because the next question says, how do you deal with stress? You've already answered how you deal with stress, but just a little bit of words in there will help somebody that just coming in to the channel right now.
How to deal with stress is really first to eliminate stress, because I believe maybe before we finish, we will come and look at the impact of stress. Right, it has a very negative impact in our health, in our ability to perform, even at work. If you're stressed, you can't perform. You don't give your best at work. Your health is impaired because of stress. So just understanding that it's not good for you is one of the major things. So if you come to that realization, understanding, then you want to eliminate it entirely. Avoid, do away with stress. And then if it is there already, or it has been part of some, because sometimes some of the systems, that's why this thing is very interesting. A lot of people really, it may not just be that the situation is stressful, but we have been brought up in such a way that our life is stressful. We create stress even when it's not there. Our response to the things of life, the normal things, we just respond from that position of stress. If you are not anxious or running around, you are not convinced you are doing something really. So you even create the stress when it is not there. Right. So that's one of the things. So it just start realizing some of these things, and then knowing the right thing to do, the right way to respond to some of these things. And that's why I said earlier that these things we identify as stressors may not be really the problem. Easier, maybe your mentality, what you believe about it, what you are thinking, what's going on in your head about it, your belief system, your mindset, all those things, the way you interpret that situation. Take, for instance, somebody doesn't have money, right? Which is one of the major ones we have mentioned as money, the cause of stress for a lot of people. It's not everyone that not having money will be, causing stress for, right? Somebody may think of, okay, if I don't have money, what do I do to get money? Call a family member, borrow, go to work, do casual job, or do anything. People can, easily adapt to maybe family. Another person might just be, doing all the stressing in the world, but that doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't bring the money. That's the challenge about some of the responses you get from people concerning stress or maybe anxiety. Those responses don't solve the problem in any case. It only, adds to, the problem. It doesn't solve it in any way. So dealing with stress about realizing that it's not good for you, it's not good for people around you. Yeah, because if you're in a stressful situation, people around you are not comfortable around you really. So it's not good for you. It's not good for that people around you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your job or profession. So I haven't seen anything good. Well, there's a good stress because really there's a part of stress that is good, but not the sustained one, right? The part of stress that is good is the one that activates you to do something because it's part of the human system, human security system. Right, so something happens, then your body responds. Like something happens to you suddenly, you need to bring yourself to safety, right? So that it activates your stress system, which will make you either jump from that situation or run away from the situation. That's okay. But when it is sustained every time, this our stress system is activated for a long period of time, that becomes damaging.
Man, so in other words, you've almost spoken on how does stress affect your health, because if it stays too long, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, it causes
go on.
a lot of things. When you talk about health, right, it causes a lot of health issues. One of the major areas people face in when it comes to stress, it touches on so many things. Increased depression, right? It's a lot of people go into depression, and this depression that prolonged depression, that's what leads people to suicide. When people are get into that state of hopelessness, when they have convinced themselves that there's no need for staying, or there's nothing, like I'm not good for anything, all of those thinking that lead people into such things. Insomnia, people will find it difficult to sleep, right? So those things are causes of stress. You see that it weakens your immune system. You can catch diseases very easily. So stress weakens your immune system. It causes maybe high blood pressure, things like that. It causes maybe rapid bleeding, tense muscles, a lot of things, right?
Man.
Even sexual relationship is impaired. Your libido is hindered, is low because of it. You don't even get to thinking in that area. So all these things are part of the health issues of stress. So it's so much of it to talk about. So really, it's not somewhere you want somebody to be. Right? So stress has serious health issues. It causes serious health challenge. And then people are stressed. It's very easy for them to have cardiac arrest. Very easy for them to have heart attack, as we commonly know it. So that's part of maybe stress can lead to something like that. And that's why in some places you have those situations very common. And when you look at it, they say nothing was wrong with him, but maybe look at his lifestyle, the very stressed one.
Oh my God. One of the comments I just came, he said, is a silent killer.
Yes.
It's really
exactly.
is a silent killer.
Yes.
The silent killer. But the good, you go on. You want to say something?
I would just want to say that I'm not sure what questions, because I just want to see if there's anybody here that has something that I can address, depending on how many minutes we have more, how much time we have. I've made time for this, so I don't mind staying a bit longer.
We have enough time. It's a live stream,
right.
So the way it works is that with the live stream, people come in, people leave. But this is a very important topic, which I feel that everybody should hear. And then try and help somebody out there, because sometimes we are not stressed, we are not having any issue. I've been with you for a long time, I've heard you for a long time. You know that I'm a high achiever, but there could be somebody out there who needs me to tell them what I've learned today, and that's why I come in. And now when it gets to that level where I find that I can only do as much, I can ask, okay, let me introduce them over to you. That's what's very important. So many comments are coming in. So many people, mindset, Cherished Olivia has spoken. Cheesy Wandike has spoken. Raisy's Kitchen is here. So many people have been leaving comments. No family aspect. So many of them have been leaving comments. Who should take? But you see, I want us to look at something. how can someone use emotional intelligence? In fact, let's use this. How can an emotional intelligence help employees to manage stress? Because what's happening now is that I want us to move into the corporate side a little bit. An employee or an employer has got employees. How can, emotional intelligence help these employees to manage stress? Maybe briefly, then we still got some questions to take here.
All right. Okay. When you say employee, you mean somebody who is employed to perform a role
because I've got
in an
people who are
organization.
working. Yeah, I've got people who are working for me virtually and some physically. So I talk to them on the phone, but one or two people are doing different things for me as a company. So as a CEO of a company. So sometimes I want to see how I can use, because I prefer to give the responsibility to an extent to the employee.
All right. Interesting one, really, because it's this company called Gallup. They do a lot of research on organizations. So one of the things is that they found out that a lot of people in an organization are very unengaged, right? And then when you look at the system of work we have, if you are still running the old system, the command and control type of system, it's a big challenge for employees, right? So what research has shown now is that people want to be treated as human beings, right? Well, no matter what job they do for you, people want to be respected, people want to be recognized, people want to have their freedom, right? And if you don't create that environment that will give people autonomy, there's this guy that wrote a book. He's talking about what motivate people. Talks about autonomy. He talks about mastery. He talks about purpose. When what people do for you, aligns with their purpose, which is a different. Emotional intelligence goes into a lot of things, really. So let's just stick to certain part of it. So, but then when you talk about employee, now first of all, when somebody has a job, you need to understand this role you do, the type of job you do. For instance, if you are somebody in healthcare, a nurse, midwife, you know that maybe such roles are maybe high conflict roles where you may need to deal with maybe the patient and the family. So one of those things you need to know, you need to be able to manage, conflict. Right? People will be coming to ask maybe what they're not entitled to. When you try to put them right, they not know how to manage it. Mind you, that you have improved your own emotional intelligence does not mean the other people, every other person coming to you will be like that. Lots of people don't know, are not trained in this area. So people want something, they want it, and they want it now. Right? So if some people can't even wait. Right. So now, if you're in that position, you need to know what the type of people. That's what we call empathy mapping. Your ability to maybe that's why I was talking about empathy the other time. I was saying that's what we call cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, and the empathic consent. When we talk about empathic consent, it's about knowing what the other person wants from you before they even ask it. For instance, if a patient is coming to the hospital, what do you think they will be expecting? Right? They want somebody that will reassure them they will be fine. They want somebody that will try and find out what they really want, right? So those things are the things that for you in your role, you need to know the type of, first of all, what your role demands in terms of the skills you need to do to perform the job. Then you need to know the type of people you'll be dealing with. There are roles that don't contact people. They just get in, do their figures, and then do little phone calls. But there are roles that every day things are different. People are coming crying, people are coming with injury, people are coming, and all these type of people, you need to be able to adjust yourself, be able to accommodate their emotional situation at that point in time to show that you can do that job. Policing, if you're a policeman, you confront people, you can never tell their reaction. The presence of a police in front of somebody can trigger certain things on someone. So all these things are things that first of all, I would think, say, in terms of employees managing emotional intelligence to manage themselves, first of all, recognizing the self-awareness again. I'm hot-tempered, or I can manage, stress situations, or I can improve myself in that area, so that when those situations arise, you will know how to apply the right skills to, manage them. So there's the employee side, and then there's the employer side again. So, but then, like you said, employees have responsibility, employers also have responsibility. So, but you said the employees, so let's leave it for that on that now, unless you want me to go a bit on the employer side.
I think we'll leave it there because the reason why
Yes.
the reason why I brought in that in is that this period that we've been at home from March 23rd, 2020 to date, responsibility has always been on the employee. Not the employer calls you, but your being able to manage yourself from home has always been based on you. So if you get a good chair, okay. If you don't get a good chair, okay. If you have to work on your laptop and lie on the bed, is up to you. Because honestly, nobody has done any risk assessment or DSE assessment all this while we're home. Everybody had to just make do with what they do because this wasn't planned. This takes me to my next question. How, look at it, how can someone use emotional intelligence for stress relief during this period? There's been lots of, this period lockdown and so many things. Because now I want you to tell us how I'm in my home, how can I use emotional intelligence for stress relief?
Okay. That's an interesting one. So just like we were saying, just on on something you mentioned that a lot of organizations didn't do risk assessment, which is
DSE
right.
assessment, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But some did. There are some people that send people to or supply their employees what they needed to work at home, right?
Well, that's
So
a good
some
company.
employees yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And that's the responsibility, the way I should leave employers, right? But that's the other side of it. Yeah, employer side. Okay. So yeah, employees working from home. Where do they live? Do they share accommodation with people? What space do they have? Some of these things are some of the things that a good employer would be thinking of. What type of table do they have? What type of screen do they have? All those things you do them for them when they're in the office. You're a good employer, right? And you know that it's not that that what we call best places to work, right? There are companies that keep improving their relationship or their services or what they do for their employers, right? Employees. Okay, so those places are people are very good places to work. So good employers during this period found out what may be what help that their employees would need at home, and some of them did it. And then coming back to people, the majority of people who maybe didn't get the type of support they needed. This time, one of the things you have to recognize is that COVID-19 it was not caused by anyone. Right? And nobody can give you accurate dates of certain things when things will change, right? And this is the way some organizations were working like this before, but then some of us were forced into it. So, but first of all, is to recognize your own unique situation, right? Where are you in life? Are you living alone? People who are living alone, sorry if I offend anyone with this, might find it a little bit easier because you just manage yourself. But then if you're in a family, that's why I'm saying that family, then you have to manage yourself. You have to manage, maybe if you have children, you have to manage children. They are studying. They have their own activities different from yours. You are trying to meet your things at work, and they're demanding something from you. Depending again on the type of relationship, are you a single mom, single dad, you have husband and wife, and all of those titles come with responsibility, right? And really, some people equally before now, even up till now, they don't have that concept of somebody's working from home. As long as they are seeing you around home, you're at home, right? So the idea of working from home, a lot of people still don't understand that concept. So they will call you. Sometimes they bring you something when you're in a meeting like this. They want to offer you something, and they are doing it. They are doing it out of love. They are doing it out of love, but they don't know that the whole world is seeing is looking at them trying to, push over a piece of cake to you, right? So, so that's one of the things we need to recognize, that really you have to self-awareness again, recognize your own unique condition. Do I need to create a space? Do I need a tool we use in Agile, which we call time boxing? What time do I need for my family to, just like what we call to-do lists, but in Agile, we move it to what we call, one of the tools we use is time boxing, where you plan, I'm going to wake up at a time like this, from maybe 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. This is what I'll be doing, right? From 8 a.m. to this is what I'll be doing. So 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. children. I look after the children, do the breakfast or whatever you need to do. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I do my emails, whatever. I get office from that time to just plan your day. So that's one of the things that I know that have helped a lot of people, right? And building the discipline to stick to that, what we call time schedule, so that you can do all those things. Because if you don't give the family attention, definitely when you're doing the office work, they want to distract you. Okay, then if you go focus only on family and you don't give office attention, then they will be calling you, and then they may want to say you are not performing, you are not adding value to this organization, to the system. Yeah. So understanding your unique role that you have now that you're working from home, you have a role, a responsibility to your office, have a responsibility to the family, where maybe if you have children, you're working from home for them. Mom is at home, dad is at home. This you're working, that you are in the office at home. They don't understand that. That is, they want to go and play with him, or mom is there, they want to ask her something. So, and you have to understand this so that when those things start happening, you know how to respond. That these children are there, they are your children, or if they are not your children, they're living with you, they need the attention. Yeah. So it shouldn't, understanding helps you manage, the stress part of it. That's one of the key things.
Wow. Because you see, I was telling my wife, I said, baby, you know what? The teacher's salary should be shared with me because I've done my teaching and they've done their own teaching. So it's half. This period,
In fact, some parents will prefer to pay teachers more now to take away that, to take that responsibility. Now they value them, they know, because it's not the, I mean, we're used to just drop them and go, they do their business, you do their own business, and come back and meet them in the evening. But now that's not the case. They are calling you, either help them get online, ask you questions. And as long as they are seeing you, particularly depending on their age, it's difficult to communicate to them that you too, or you're at work. But it's all part of the fun.
One thing I want to bring in here, because I've got lots of YouTubers online here. I think that too, if you can share it with us, we don't mind. Or one thing I'll say is this: if you want to contact Coach Owen, please do. Coach Owen, once again, is the CEO of Owen Consults. I will advise that if you need to get in contact with him, get in contact with him. He is being an emotional intelligence coach for years, just like he's been saying now. And we've got so much that we've learned so far. Now, if you're just coming in, just joining us, I will advise that you go back, listen to this live stream. It will help you. If you don't want to use it for yourself, like I said, use it for someone else, because we've got lots of YouTubers, like I said now. You can share that document with us, or they contact you directly so that you plan, because sometimes people come into YouTube is not what they came in that they are seeing. And the stress of getting a video ready, putting it online, and then you're thinking the video is going to go viral one day, and then you just look at it, nothing is happening. You see, now, if you've not listened to my episode on my video on how to sell anything to anyone at anywhere, at any price, I will advise you to listen to it, because it will help you plan. You see, so I think we'll definitely need that tool. I'll call it a tool that you use. Yeah, so that we can put it to work too. Now, one other question. Now, I know you've already answered this, because I want to say, how can you, as an emotional intelligence coach, support someone with stress?
All right. Okay, that's a very good question, and really, that's part of the job we do. Because when I see what happened to people as a result of them not being able to manage situations of life, is very painful. Somebody having stroke, somebody having mental breakdown and things like that as a result of stress is very painful. So I prefer to meet them before that situation. So if I come in contact with someone going through stress, it's just to let them know there's a solution. Really, some of the things that they are going through may just be some things that some people may also, including you that is talking to them, may be having the same challenge. For instance, if somebody is complaining their children is running around, the house is not as quiet as they want, that's what's causing them stress. Really, a lot of people can identify with that. It's first of all to let them know there is hope, there is solution, calm them down, and then work some things out. Like I said before, sometimes it's just people's way of responding. That's the way they have learned to respond to situations of life. They have been trained, maybe growing up. That's the way the parents respond to situations, and that's the way they respond to situations. And such responses are triggered by anxiety, fear, and uncertainty. But then if you calm them down and say, okay, let's look at what the situation is, and then what are the real solutions? What are the really things that can help in this situation, as opposed to things that will complicate the issue and they don't solve the problem. So you get them through self-awareness, and then get them through maybe self-management, and then see how even their upbringing, the job they do, can be part of maybe the problem without them knowing it. So first of all, you work on them as an individual, but improve them. And then you look at the situation they're going through and see how you can, the solutions that are available. There are things that may not have, just like I've been saying, reiterating about COVID-19, anybody stressing about lockdown, you can't control that. Even the people in authority, they still have to meet to agree on what to do. Yeah. So you channel your energy to where the things you have control over. Yeah, so it's one of those things we help people to do.
This is good, because you see, you made one comment now. Channel your energy to what you do better, because
Yes,
the more you do
physical
it, you
control.
become a specialist in that area.
Exactly.
I think that's the, if you've not taken anything out of this live stream today, channel your energy to what you do better. If you're a chef, go for it. If you are into accounting, do it more. If you are into singing, do it more. You see, the thing about it is this: people might not appreciate you now, but when you get to a time, people will definitely appreciate you. Someone asked me a question. He said, how do you become a consultant? He was asking me because I'm a health and safety consultant. I said, years of experience, years of working, years of CPD, and so many things. Then I now said, you know what? If you come in as a health and safety advisor into health and safety, your salary might start at maybe 35, 45, or 40. If you become health and safety lead, it will improve. But if you become a health and safety consultant, you will still get more. If you become the health and safety director, better, So we are talking about money here now, which takes me to the next question. How much do emotional intelligence coach charge per hour or per session? Now, remember, we've got 30 minutes free for everyone who has stayed from beginning right down to the end.
Well, I would take it as a generic question. You're not asking me for my charges. Definitely. I believe.
Not your charges.
Yes. Because from the trainings we have, we look at the value we are providing, right? So that's a different skill entirely. What will somebody pay to save themselves from mental breakdown? What will somebody pay to save themselves from, breaking their relationship, their marriage? When marriages break, children get a lot of things do happen on the children, particularly the impact. There are a lot of things in these things we talk about, which is why I keep talking about them. So broken marriages is very damaging to the two people involved, and particularly to the children. So it's not something I love to see. So people, like what you're saying, somebody has a lot of degrees just because of lack of self-confidence. They have not been able to move forward or get a job. Okay, somebody has been in a particular level, band, whatever, in NHS for years, and it's becoming frustrating now, because what I've noticed is that when people are on that band for a long time, they have gone to interviews, and they are not making progress. They just, they waking up to go to that job becomes very, very painful for them, and they're still there.
Yeah.
So all these things are things you begin to look at. You see that the work we do, you can't really quantify it in monetary terms. But what I say to your question, in direct answer to your question, I mean, a lot of people can answer. This is not in any way criticizing anybody, but then when it comes
you
to
can give us an
intelligence,
average, maybe an average, average salary, average payment per session.
I mean, I wouldn't want to put people away with figures, because my secondary purpose. My first purpose or intention, which is why I love what I do, is the change I will see in this person. If I see somebody that really needs to, that really need the value, know the value of what we do, we are happy to help them. All right. So then when you talk about charging, I mean, in terms of coaches, you're looking at, we can get coaches for £30 an hour, 50. But people like me who have been here for a long, really, it depends again. I wouldn't want to be calling figures because, like I said, I don't want to put people away. But we can open that up for discussion. Yeah, it's always
for negotiation.
For negotiation.
Okay, good.
And I don't want that to put people away. Like the 30 minutes talk, that might just be what you need, because the things I've seen is that when it comes to something like emotional intelligence, when I do just emotional intelligence presentation, the free presentation I do, people recognize some people, that's what just they need, and they begin to work on themselves. Right. So somebody maybe what you need is just this 30 minutes, and some people who need something longer, then we can work it out. So I don't want people to be put away by, and that's one of the things why people don't go for help. It's too expensive. I can't afford him. I can't afford her, and I don't want to put out figures there that will put people away. I don't have this amount. Just ask for help first, and then we'll begin to talk about that. And who says you can't get it? if you have been praying and doing certain things, you might only be able to get it at a price that maybe you have paid for it before now.
So, in other words, you see, I've listened to many emotional intelligence videos, some of them read some books, but you've given us an in-depth understanding of what emotional intelligence is here. And I'm so glad that I brought you in to this program, sir. I'm really glad. Thank you so much for being here. But it's just been wonderful, We still got more questions to come in, but I want to just show my appreciation, because the thing about life is this: you are paid not for the time that you put into work. People work for time. When I was working with NHS, you work 11 or 12 hours. They pay you for the time. But when you are a high achiever, I remember when I just started I go into health and safety, earning so much, and I said, don't you people do overtime? They said, overtime? No, we pay you so much. We can't even pay overtime. So I said, oh, I thought we do, because when I was working with NHS, we do overtime, long time. I said, man, what's happening? They said, no, not here. We pay you so much, we can't even pay you overtime. So I said, okay, well, that's it. And that was the end of the overtime and the long nights and all the long stress. And, because there is room enough for improvement. There's so much room enough for improvement. So, Coach, the next question I want to ask you is that, what's your advice for someone who is watching now, or who will watch this video, who wants to pursue a career in emotional intelligence coaching?
Right. That's another great question, interesting one. My response to that is, please do it today, do it tomorrow, because there's so much need out there that we need to meet. A lot of people are ignorant of these skills, and that's one of the major difference between what we call EQ, which is emotional intelligence, and IQ, right? IQ maybe inborn, or people can do just very little to improve it, but emotional intelligence, they're learnable skills. You can train on it. It's just that the way of teaching it is different from the way of teaching maybe cognitive knowledge, right? It deals with different part of the brain, what we call limbic brain. Whereas when you're talking about the other, with the what we call neocortex. Yeah. So the training of it is different. It requires repetition, it requires patience, it requires appreciation of the effort somebody's making, which is why it's difficult for people to teach, particularly if they are not trained in that area. So anybody that wants to train this, that's very good skill to have. Not just very skill. It's something that is very gratifying, very fulfilling. As you know, I do a lot of things, and even in those other things I do, I enjoy this because of the impact. Getting this child that was excluded from school, getting him or her back to school, or getting this family to stay together instead of breaking up, moving this person from one level to other, or getting somebody to enjoy their job, or getting somebody who manages people to be able to help improve people they are managing. All these things are great ways of reward. I don't think, apart from the work I do as a minister, there's no other thing that is more gratifying than seeing me helping people to improve themselves, really. So, and I love helping people. I love supporting people, and that's what I do. For me, it's not work. I mean, when I do this, I don't call it work because it's just what I love to do. I want to see people get better. I want to see somebody they say can't go to school, go to school. So I want to see somebody who they say can't get a job, get a job. I want to see somebody who say can't stay in marriage, make that marriage work. So all these things are the things that give me joy. And if that is what you enjoy, it's the way you are. You love to support people. You want to see people improve. Please go for it. And it's not difficult. It's just that you need to, adapt a lot in terms of, because it needs to become part of you. When you're teaching this or training people, they have to see it in you, because emotional intelligence is one of those things people learn by observation also. Right. So really, I'm saying anybody that wants to go into it, really, the highest achievement in life is when you begin to serve people. Right. That's the highest level of achievement in life. When now what you're thinking of is, okay, the service I'm giving to people, which is why, as I was saying, let's not use money to put people away. So if you have that heart to help people, to support people, to see people get better, I will say, please, this is the best role. This is the best profession you can get into, and it pays very well, very well, very, very well. Yes.
Wow.
Very, very well. Yes.
Wow. So in other words, what I would say is this, if there's anyone here in this live stream now, and you say you want to become an emotional intelligence coach, please get in contact with me and I'll link you up with Coach Owen, so that because now what you've done for us is that you've created an avenue for mentorship. So in other words, we come in, we come work for you, then you mentor us. I have many people who are coming to health and safety. When they come in, I tell them, you've got to work for me. You've got to work in projects with me, because it will help you get the skills that you need. And you see, majority of Africans or ethnic minority coming from overseas, that's what they lack. When they come in here, they tell them, we can't give you a job because you don't have the knowledge, skill, and experience. But working with a mentor as a mentee will give you that avenue to quickly get into that job. Thank you so much for that, sir. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. No, this next question is something that has to do with the young people, because if you look at it, we have Generation Z teens, which are age 13 to 17, and Generation Z adults age 18 to 23 are facing unprecedented uncertainty, and they are experiencing elevated stress. And some of them are already reporting symptoms of depression. So the next question, it says, if you think back to when you were 17 years, what will be your advice to a 17 years old who is thinking of becoming an emotional intelligence coach?
Amazing. Thank you. Another very beautiful question. That's one of those areas I'm equally involved and interested in. The younger generation, they are facing a lot of challenges in their time that some of us didn't get to face, particularly with the development in technology and the way our world is, the very fast world we are living in. And some of those things are the things that could be causing them maybe a lot of stress. I ran a webinar for them, for this young group, teenagers, just 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. The response was just amazing. Our what do you call it now? The Zoom capacity was packed out. People couldn't get in anymore just a few minutes after we started. And what I was teaching was emotional intelligence. Really, I didn't call it emotional intelligence, but I mean, like I said, emotional intelligence is a lot of things, but then you use it to relate to the group you are dealing with. And what I was teaching them was this self-concept idea, how to build self-confidence so that you can stand peer pressure, how to take the challenge of growing up to go to school. If you want to, or at least make a choice to have a career, or train yourself in certain area, because that's what life requires. And now they have so much opportunities, more than maybe some of us when we were growing up. So 17-year-old there that wants to go in this direction. What I will tell to them is, clarify what you want. which one of the things we help people do to clarify your purpose. Why do you want to get into that? And then, are you willing to train yourself and continue to improve yourself? But like I said before, it's an area that you will find a lot of joy and fulfillment as long as you are somebody that is given to, that have that heart to help other people, have that heart to continually get better as an individual, because really it puts a demand and challenge on you as an individual to get better, because the more you do the more you do this, the more you learn from it, because every experience keeps adding to your own experience. So thinking of becoming an emotional intelligence coach, maybe get a mentor, like maybe get somebody like myself. We can direct you on how to go about it, because sometimes people get in. There are a lot of things out there people can buy and tell you, oh, if you do this and do that. A lot of them are marketing. So get a mentor, somebody who has been there or who is there that can at least give you concrete steps to take to get in that direction.
Wow. Now, if you are watching us, remember, you've got a 30-minute free session with Coach Owen. So don't forget, like I said, Coach Owen is the CEO of Owen Consult, and we are talking about how to manage stress. How to manage stress. So I don't want you to just leave without giving you something, So we're going to the next question, because we're talking about money here. We're talking about career here. We're talking about how you can use emotional intelligence for yourself. Coach Owen, what's your advice when it comes to passive income? Because I'm an advocate of passive income, having something to do by the side.
Okay. Is it the same? Is it the same way of saying residual income?
The residual income. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what we have already noticed is that I think it's Warren Buffett that's saying that if you have to work for all the money that you use or earn, maybe you have to work for a very long time, maybe your whole life. So, and the interesting thing is that the opportunities are there. I am very, very an advocate of residual income. I believe that people should be able to invest in things that can, that's really when you can say you are retired or you have achieved a level of success, when you can earn money even while you are sleeping. Right. And this can be either investing in something or maybe creating something that people can maybe use or purchase while you are doing something else. Right. So for me, 5, 6, 7, as many sources of income you can make is really advisable, and that's really what gives you a lot. It will give you a lot of fulfillment and gives you the opportunity. First of all, it gives you the the freedom of time and money. You can do what you want to do, and you have the time to do what you want to do. So it's very important that we have enough money to meet our the things we require, and then show our true character, because when you have money, then it amplifies whatever you are. So if you want to help people, having money will help you help more people. So it's very important. So passive income really is advisable, and that can be through investment, through creating certain things that people can really get hold of without you having to involving your time. So I'm a very strong advocate for that.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Now, we are getting almost to the end of this live stream, but some few comments here. Cherish Olivia said, I intend to do my PhD in emotional intelligence. I'm sure Coach Owen has answered. You said, go ahead. You now said, if I finally do my PhD, you need to go ahead and do it. You need to go ahead and do it. She said, emotional intelligence helps with work-life balancing. That's good there. Yeah. She said something unique too. And she said emotional intelligence is a very interesting area. Very interesting. Just like Coach Owen said now, is interesting. Cheesy Wondike said, very interesting topic. Thank you so much, Cheesy. Regis Kitchen said, self-confidence is key. That's it. That's part of the discussion. And Cherish Olivia said, yes, very interesting. And when you spoke about stressors, she said, yes, impact of job stress. Then she says, made a comment here, said emotional intelligence help you to identify and navigate stressors better so that you are able to manage work stress better. I think you should go for the PhD because you have a very good knowledge of it. Racist Kitchen said, stress is often not easily noticed. That's it. Important topic.
Yeah.
You know, and then yeah, she said emotional intelligence helps to detect and manage stress, which is very good. You know, that's good. Then Cheesy Wondike said something here, said exactly your mindset. And Raises Kitchen said it is a silent killer. And we have I have Mommy and Zan here, M and J. She said, I have, yeah, homeschooling. When we discuss about homeschooling, Raises Kitchen said homeschooling plus remote working is so demanding. Yeah, something that we never planned for. But like what Coach Owen said, he said, just manage what you can do, keep getting better at what you do, and you just get there. Then Chizu Wondike, who is the content developer, said YouTube is another stress. Yes, it's stress, but if you manage it well, it's good. Just like YouTube is like a passive income for some people for now. Could become their main income, but you need to know how you're going to manage it so it not become stress for you. I feel that when you are giving out content to people and people are enjoying it, that should bring you more joy because people are able to listen to you and apply what you've done and they are glad about it, you know. And then M and Z Tech Fit said something here. She said, I have never heard of emotional intelligence coach before. It's quite good because M and Z Tech Fit, she's into exercise, body build, I think body, mind and body building, which is quite good. Yeah. So I will advise that you listen to this live stream again and see how it can benefit you. You know, she said, this is great information. So much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. You're welcome.
Thank
you. I'm really glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Now, I want to say thank you so much to Coach Owen for coming for this program. It's just been wonderful speaking with you and having time to really answer some questions. Now, if you want to get in contact with Coach Owen, please let me know. I will put his details in my description box so that people who watch the video can listen to it. And that's Coach Owen. He's the CEO of Oweniko Consult. We've been talking about how to manage stress, how to deal with stress, how you can get better at what you do. Family aspect. Thank you so much, Family Aspect. Family Aspect is into relationship. I'll be bringing him to this program anyway to talk about. No, he's into relationship. That's his focus. Yeah, into relationship. I want to say thank you so much, Coach, for coming in. You've just been wonderful, and so many questions are still going to come in. I'm still going to send them to you, but your details will be in the description box. Now, when I finish with this, I'm going to break the video down into different modules because this is not really a live stream per se. It's a video, it's a classroom experience for us, a classroom where you can learn and get better at what you do. You know, just one last word before we leave, Coach Owen, because I want to show my appreciation to everyone who has come here. Okay, you know, there's a question here. He said, I teach IT at work. It's a great area to explore. That's beautiful. Coach Owen has, I'm going to be bringing him again to this program where he's going to be talking about his agile training. I'm not going I'm just laughing because Coach Owen has got a coaching school where he teaches project management, agile, so many. Well, So I'm going to bring him back. You want to say something? No, I'll bring him back again. Yeah, I'll bring you back again where you're going to talk about that aspect. Because you see, the thing is, and then you go to the wrong hands, your money is collected, you're not giving what you're supposed to get. But everyone that comes into this live stream, we make sure that they are people who have that credibility and people that we can refer you to that will give you what you want, you know. And like 2 weeks time, I'm bringing in a guy who came in from a bricklayer and is now on, like, he's aiming for a 7-figure salary. That's him there, Louis Slade. You know, I'm going to bring him here. Yeah, he's coming in 2 weeks time. Yeah, he went from being a bricklayer to becoming a high ticketing coach. So he's a marketing coach. He's got so much that he wants to share with us. So much. You need to go straight into his page. It's full of things, you know. But next week, I'm bringing in another person who's going to be talking about nursing, how you can be a nurse in UK, advantage of it, and how much you can get. Coach Owen, I want to say thank you so much. There's so much here. People are just sending out their greetings to you. Thank you so much, Coach Owen.
Thank you
you've
very
really
much.
done
My
something
pleasure.
to us, And please don't forget, if for that 30-minute session is free, I'll introduce you to Coach Owen. And if you want to go into intelligence coaching, I will introduce you to him, where you can get to meet him, get to know him, and then if you want mentoring, he'll be there to mentor you, definitely at a price, but both of you will have to discuss the price. And I want to say thank you to everybody who has come in here. Please take time to share the video, watch it over again. It's a long live stream, but before the week runs out, by the grace of God, we would have cut it into different modules for you, so you can watch one and watch the next one and be able to apply it to your life. Coach O, I want to say thank you so much, sir, for coming in here. I appreciate you. And I'll be having you again, because I want you to do emotional intelligence for teenagers and then talk about the IT training. Now, don't forget, there's a 30-minute session for you. Quickly send an email or send us, leave your name in the comment box, and I will introduce you straight to Coach Owen. Or if you want to go and subscribe to his YouTube channel right now, quickly go and subscribe so that you can have a session with him. I want to say thank you so much, everyone, and God bless you, and see you again next week with another program. This is CV Coach here. I'm signing out for now. Take care and bye for now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I want to hear you, sir. You said
thank you.
You're welcome,
thank you
sir.
very much for having me, and I want to appreciate everyone that have given us their time. We don't take that lightly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And
you're welcome,
please,
sir.
like I said earlier on, reach out for help. Don't wait until it becomes. It's never too late. Do I see things? But the earlier we handle these things, the better. If it's relationship issue, professional issue, behavioral issue, bring it up. Just like I said, take that free 30-minute session. It might just be what you need and to put you right. And if we need to do more than that, we will tell you. Nobody's going to drag you into anything. But this is an area that any one of you can investigate and see how important it is, both in your personal life, in your health, family life, professional life. It helps you in every area of life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, if you know you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. He said, okay, he said, what is your YouTube channel, Coach Owen? He said, what's your YouTube channel? I will put it in the description box so that you can get in contact with him. Thank you so much, Coach Owen. So glad to have you in our midst today, and we've really had a great time. I want to say bye to everyone. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do, and see you again next week. This is CV Coach Ogie signing out. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone, and see you next week. Now, if you've got any question, leave it in the comment box below, and I'll make sure that I get in contact with you and link you up with Coach Owen. Bye for now, and take care.